And I thought the casting was great. I thought especially the casting of the couple, Mark and Karen. I thought they had
Hmm.
such amazing and natural chemistry as a married couple. I mean, how did you come up with the? I know with your last film, Munyurangabo, you didn't. It was sort of your students, and you didn't really particularly went out to cast. With this one, did you deliberately cast people to reflect a certain vision, or how did you go about your casting process?
Yeah, so Alex was easy, just because I've seen Rich act before during college, and I also knew that he could play this type of character. Mark and Karen, they're played by Dan and Megan, and they're actually a married couple, so
Are
that's why
they?
they,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
they're probably pretty good at conveying that.
Wow, that makes
Yeah,
things
they're
pretty
actually
easy then.
expecting right now. Yeah, yeah. And so they were just friends of mine, and I needed to. The film was accepted to the Cannes Atelier program, in which we kind of
Hmm.
show the script to different financiers or producers and pitch the project. And we were making a booklet, and I needed a couple to model as the actor since I hadn't cast it yet.
Oh.
And I took photos of them, and just spending the day with them together. I didn't know Dan very well at that point. I knew Megan better. Um, I just thought, yeah, these guys could do it. This could work. So that's how I cast them. And then
Wow.
Kenyon was a friend of the producer, who's Sam Anderson. So Kenyon plays Jason. So that's how we cast him. And he has the most experience in acting. He's done a lot of theater. He's still um, here in the city as an actor.
But everyone else was cast, the main leads. Did they all have acting experience as well, or were any of them actually?
Just small amounts. I think most of their experience was in high school or college. So,
Wow.
the guy who plays Alex, Rich, he's actually a writer. His novel is coming out this September, I believe, called The Bells, um,
Oh.
which I should try to pitch every time I talk about him. And
Okay.
then Megan is a dancer, so I thought she brought a lot of that to her performance. For instance, the scene in which there's a tragedy and she's crying quite a bit.
Hmm.
Um, she told me that she was approaching the scene more, um, body wise, like focusing really on her body language, and I thought it was amazing. Dan has done some theater in high school, maybe some in college. I'm not sure. And then Kenyon's the one who's been working at it for quite a long time.
Right. Did that ever factor into your decision, like whether people have extensive acting experience, or did that not really matter?
No, I mean, after Munyurangabo, I just felt like I'd like to try to cast people who I could envision just being the part rather than having to perform in the role.
Right. Right.
Um, yeah, so I was careful about, you know, getting the right people, the right personalities involved. Yeah, yeah.
Another thing I wonder about was your window shots in your films.
Uh-huh.
There seems to be a lot of shots of windows. Is that just
Like
something?
back, back.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that from Munyurangabo, but here
Uh-huh.
it's very very prevalent. Is that something that, like, for me, sort of, I almost saw it as like a window is almost like a portal. You know, you can look in and look out. Like, is that something? It's sort of like a gateway. Is that something you envision? Like, what does it? Why are you so fond of windows?
I don't know. A lot of the composition, I mean, I think I could come up with like some symbolic reason, but I think I would probably be lying because
Well, you
I
could. I
think
wouldn't
just when
know.
yeah, when I'm coming up with the composition, I think it comes intuitively. So I don't know if there's something going on with my thinking process of why windows need to be in the shot, but it just comes out naturally. I think with a lot of the photography I do too, it seems to I incorporate a lot of windows, but I think a lot of it's just the light, the way the light plays
Hmm.
um, through windows, how it lights the actor, but also um, I don't know, it creates a certain layer in the image.
And the shadow, like the contrast between light and shadow, you seem to really like that as well.
Yeah, I definitely wanted. I didn't want a film that's just perfectly lit all the time, but
Yeah.
something somehow the image itself should be fragile at times, where you feel like the image could be lost because it's too dark, or if you know what I mean. Like sometimes the shadows are overwhelming. Uh, yeah, I quite like that sort of aesthetic more than the idea that you have to light the actors' faces just right every scene.
Yeah, there was that one scene that I think my favorite scene was the shifting window shot at the beach house.
Hmm.
You know, the ones where you,
Oh,
and then it
yeah.
just slightly shifts the angle, and then it goes to another room. And then
Hmm.
I always wonder how come halfway when the screen is almost completely dark with the two slivers of light on both sides, and then it suddenly lights
Hmm.
up, like the
Yeah.
darkness suddenly lights up. Is that like why did you do that? I always thought why doesn't he just go directly, to the other side, to the light on the other side of the darkness?
Yeah. So that's just so when it comes to photography, one of my AC's gonna kill me if he listens to this. So Doug's talking with my AC, and he's supposed to pull the aperture slowly so that you have a gradual change of exposure as we're going through. Because inside the space where they're talking, um, it the lens needs to be more open, wider open than when we're pointing out the window, just because of the light difference.
Hmm.
So when we go to the room with the two characters talking, you'll see that outside the window it's very blown out because we've just opened up the aperture.
Right.
Anyway, we were practicing like doing that very gradually so that the audience would barely notice. And for the one take in which the actors just did it right, that was the take that Doug got it, made a small mistake. And for a while I thought, oh, this is terrible. But then I was talking with the sound designer, Greg Sextro, and he just, I don't know if with your TV you could hear that as we shift the light up, then the sound itself becomes clearer. So the ocean sound dies away a bit, and then we hear the audio of the conversation.
That does come through, yeah.
Okay, so I thought it created quite a nice effect in the end. So it was, in other words, it's all a happy accident.
Oh.
It was that we just ended up incorporating and somehow working with. And now I think it's better than if we had just gradually turned it up.
Okay. So I was just reading too much into it. I was like, why did he do that?
Yeah.
But yeah, I love that shot. I think that's probably my favorite shot in the film.
Oh, great. Thank you.
And I also love the way you shot the car ride. I don't think I've ever seen a car ride, like inside of a car, shot so luminously. Like with such a small space, they seem so open. Like how did you plan that sequence?
We really only had one shot at doing that right because the bridge itself, it takes around 30 minutes to get over because it's a very long bridge, and we needed the light to be just right. The sun was about to set, so basically I prepared Jenny, who was our DP, to have 3 points of reference to focus on, and we measured the focus points. And I would just tell her, go to Alex, go to Karen, go to Mark, and I'd whisper it in her ear while the three are improvising. And basically, I was behind her, kind of shifting the focus as she would do that to make sure that they're in focus.
So you were actually all in the car shooting this?
Yeah, we were all in the car, and yeah.
Wow.
It was great. I think that was the scene that made me feel as though it was like 2 or 3 days into the production. I started feeling, okay, I think we're getting the hang of what we should be doing. So that was a great scene to film.
And you said that was all shot in one go, like all the whole sequence?
Yeah, that was all in one go. You'll notice that's edited together, so different moments come from different parts of that one car ride.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it was really fun. I still remember.